pretty much.
You live up to your reputation. Then go ahead. Good. Then let us appreciate your... Have you solved the case? This guy, Zhongshan, is a card shark who used to play Get the Koi with Miss Sparkle. He gambled away his entire family fortune.
This ring is a piece of evidence, right?
That's right! That's the one! What would a penniless wretch of a gambler like Zhongshan be doing at such a fancy fashion store as this? Because he was planning on robbing it! He'd stolen Lefton's tie and was just about to get away when he saw Miss Sparkle, the one who'd stolen his family fortune from him. So, he darted into the changing room and tried to get back his ring. Who could have known that Miss Sparkle would end up swallowing that ring? All Zhongshan could do was use the tie in his hand to try and strap down her neck to prevent her from swallowing the ring. But he unexpectedly managed to strangle Miss Sparkle to death. What a tragedy! If it weren't for your incisive detective work, the murderer would still be at large.
Is something wrong here? This is too easy. The first case wasn't hard, but this one...
As you can imagine, the conclusions that the evidence points to are not mutually exclusive. Which means, this is probably another prank from Miss Sparkle. Mr. Assistant Detective, please feel free to point out a suspect as the murderer.
Ah, I see. Sheriff, the murderer is Lefton. The evidence is the tie, right?
Correct, Detective Sampo. I never thought you'd be able to deduce the truth.
Sheriff, the murderer is right. The evidence is the stool, right?
Yes! For the laughter, how did I fail to realize this formidable intellect of yours?
Then, right from the start, there was no murderer. The evidence is the ring. Whatever, I'm just spitballing here.
Goodness me! Deputy Sheriff, is he really a genius? How could such an unfathomable mystery be solved so easily by him?
Ugh.
Look, Miss Sparkle has given us a puzzle where every single answer is correct.
Why take it so seriously? Miss Sparkle is a masked fool, not a masked genius. If it's a challenging puzzle you want, please go out there and turn for... Anyway, since our genius detective Black Swan has cracked the case, I...
So that's it? This is just going to go on and on forever? We can't do that.
Then I wish you both the best. Oh yes, if you're not in a hurry, I can tell you the answers for some of the outcomes you never chose.
Just as you said, solving puzzles is all just a cover for something else. That girl is toying with us. What should we do now? Just keep getting led around by her?
Truly, Miss Sparkle is a fascinating person. She seems chaotic inside, but easy enough to understand.
Miss Black Swan, Mr. Sampo, you're finally here. I am the famed detective of Panico. A murder in a locked room has left us all stumped.
As expected, another
Yesterday, my assistant and I were... The butler, Zhongshan, said that the door was locked from inside, so we ought not to have disturbed her. But Miss Sparkle had never slept in, so... As soon as I heard, I knew something must have happened. So I acted decisively and broke the door down to get inside. The room was covered in spattered blood. Miss Sparkle's body was lying right in the middle, her face white as snow. One look. Thinking quickly, I grabbed the artist's canvas to staunch Miss Sparkle's blood, but... Alas, poor Miss Sparkle! She's left us now forever! Besides us and Zhongshan the butler, Lefton the cook and Wright the driver were also at the scene of the crime. What would you like to do?
Presumably, Miss Sparkle is now carefully arranging the next crime scene, right? Why don't you skip all this rigmarole and just have a heart-to-heart conversation with me? It might tickle a little.
Wait up!
Honest.
No
cheating!
Huh.
Uh,
Let's go. Can't keep a girl.
Hey, Miss Black Swan, wait up! Wait up! Miss Sparkle has one final message to announce. Ding-a-ling! Now comes the most exciting and romantic moment in any drama. The audience challenge. Everyone knows that the mighty masked fool Sparkle can change her appearance to look like others. And in this drama, the villain Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. So then, I put to you, which character is it? Also, if you're interested in the locked room case that the memo keeper ignored, you can try out your powers of deduction. I put lots into coming up with the puzzle, so don't let it go to waste. Thus, the masked genius Miss Sparkle has thrown down the gauntlet. All the clues are in motion. Happy hunting!
Miss, why didn't you just do this earlier?
Such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. But as a means to an end, I need to put this aside for a more indifferent process.
There's no weird, sweet dreams troupe. Nor is there evidence strewn all over the place. We finally caught up with her. But...
Hey! Dear man, I didn't expect you to skip. Listen up.
No murder case this time around?
Sometimes it's nice to take...
Since it's a classic puzzle, the answer is people, right?
Wah, wah. Wrong answer. The correct answer is... Sparkle! When sleepy in the morning, she can't get out of bed. She runs about all afternoon in a fluster, so is exhausted by evening, but has to still raise a hand to hold a toothbrush. So naturally, she's got 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night.
what the heck was that jibber-jab?
What a cute answer.
Thanks for the compliment, my dear, but you can't trust...
Retribution will find you. Ill tidings manifest. Turn it up! Ill fate descends. This song's for you.
Leave it to me. Stand down. To the soul.
Holy smokes! What's up with this guy? He just came out swinging from nowhere! Huh? No voices?
Wait. Something's off.
Miss, you killed Sparkle! How is this possible? How can people die inside Penacony's dreamscape? You did this, didn't you? Oh, I understand.
There is no death inside Penacony's dreamscape. That's the promise of the family and the blessing of the haunt. There's no need to take such great pains. If you just want confirmation, I've already told you the answer, Miss Sparkle.
Miss Sparkle!
You. Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. Wouldn't that be you, Mr.
This? Don't jump to conclusions! If you want to accuse me of being Sparkle, you have to provide the evidence. Oh, I'm afraid evidence is a little too hard to come by. So...
The hint for the final question was a little too obvious.
Oh, you mean the locked room murder. I thought you weren't doing that one.
All the painstaking effort that Miss Sparkle put into it. The key to solving the puzzle lay in two pieces of information put forward by the detectives. First, the large splatter of blood at the crime scene. Second, the victim had been dead for some time. Based on my shallow understanding, I can only draw two conclusions. One is that the murderer did not need to create a locked room case, because a locked room always needs a reason to exist. But, based on the detective's description, this locked room did not delay the discovery of the body. There was no third party at the crime scene to frame, and the blood everywhere didn't look like a faked suicide. That being so, the murderer seems to have no reason for creating a locked room. There is also reason to speculate that if the crime scene was a locked room, then its creator might not necessarily be the murderer. As for my second conclusion, it's even more obvious still. When everyone broke into the scene of the crime, why did the assistant rush off to staunch the blood? A trained professional was somehow happily... The answer is simple. It's because the assistant detective is the murderer. At the time, I was in such a hurry that I didn't hear the whole mystery. I tentatively speculated that the murderer had killed the victim the night before, but hadn't locked the door from the inside. And so, when he learned this piece of information, he realized that the victim had created their own locked room mystery. That's why he had to rush to the crime scene as soon as possible, to confirm whether or not the victim left any evidence implicating him. And, judging by his behavior, it probably had something to do with that canvas. Like some final words. Of course, this is just a simple mind game. The answer to the puzzle isn't important. Miss Sparkle just wanted to pass on one hint to me. That the murderer is the assistant detective. Which means it's you, Mr. Sampo. I've been using this term of address, but it was you who first came up with it.
Has anyone ever told you that you're more like a detective than a memo keeper?
In my opinion, there is no difference between the two. Follow ripples along the surface of the water. Use some abilities and tricks to keep diving deeper, and touch that secret deep inside people's hearts. Salvage it, and protect them carefully. The truth does not lie. Neither do memories.
Exquisite reasoning, and very close to the truth. But I have another answer. Would you like to hear it?
Another answer?
The great artiste Sparkle locked herself away in her bedroom, using red paint to create the semblance of spattered blood everywhere. And that assistant detective who was first on the scene, who confirmed her death? Was not the murderer, but rather an accomplice who assisted her in faking her own death.
What a pity. Such a pity. My dear, you were so close to the right answer. Unfortunately, the right answer is... Miss Sparkle's body. Sparkle was disguised as Sparkle's body. Ding-a-ling! I won!
Does Miss Sparkle's body even count as a real character?
Why not? Miss Sparkle's body appeared in all 3 of those skits just then.
It's a little bit forced, but it's fine. So, who is this Mr. Sampo, then?
Beautiful lady, I already confessed everything to you earlier on. I really didn't know a thing. I just helped a friend send a letter. That's all.
So I've been running a fool's errand this whole time.
My dear, why so serious? Haven't you been having a great time? I have, at least. You take memories, and I get joy. We get what we need from each other, seeing as we're such kindred spirits, but also such loners. Why don't you come and work with me? Ooh. We can dance ballet together.
Oh? Am I understanding this correctly? A masked fool inviting me to work together.
A show of unprecedented splendor is about to be staged in Penacony. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. If you want to appreciate this drama, you have to stand up under that spotlight as you take the stage and watch the dancing envelop you. Come with me. This is the best seat in the house.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on destroying family barriers. But, as I said before, a memo keeper can't help you. It's frankly above my pay grade. Also, I don't consider you a loner. Oh, I don't mean him, but rather behind you. The one who hired you to come to Penacony probably doesn't want you secretly linking up with other forces, right?
How did you know?
Memory is like the deep blue sea. But if you try to catch two fish with one cast, you might not be satisfied with your catch.
So, you mean you're refused? Memo Keeper, did you think you could just leave?
Why not?
My dear, I don't want to scare you. You'll know the answer sooner or later. We're just getting to know each other a little today. If you ever change your mind, come find me at the tavern. That is, if you can find me. Let's go, Sampo? Sampo. Who is... Sampo?
This is Bellabug, right?
I said, why not? Don't worry. Such a crude approach violates my statics of memory. So once you leave my sight, you'll be able to remember everything again. And also, I'm sorry, my dear. My dream dance partner? I've already got sight